This is Appalling News, your most trusted source for fake real news. I'm Paul Chatto. It's Thanksgiving season in the US of A, a time when families who hate each other are forced to sit uncomfortably close with sharp cutlery only an arm's length away. It's also a time for injuries, according to ER Dr. Reed Caldwell. Cuts and lacerations. People cut themselves all the time on Thanksgiving because they're using new tools like shredders, mandolins, and especially new sharp knives. Plus, cooks are often already drunk, anticipating the evening disaster. Burns. The doctor sees quite a few patients with burns. Burns are often found on the face, hands, forearms, and even feet, primarily because of the infamous turkey fryer. He also warned of exploding vegan tofu turkeys. Your life is not worth saving a few fowls from the chopping block. Orthopedic injuries. You need to be careful during that great American pastime, the family backyard football game. Pulling out Uncle Jim's catheter was just plain cruel, even if it did result in a touchdown. The doctor reminds everyone to stretch to avoid strains. Head injuries. Head trauma from falls is also common around the holidays. Is the walkway well lit? Once inside, is there a rug they can trip over? Slippery floors? Toys on the ground? Keep an eye on Granny just in case she tries to hit Wilbur on the head again with her oxygen tank. Stomach woes. Another frequent cause of ER visits on Thanksgiving is the gastrointestinal illnesses. Ask family members and guests if they have any food allergies or sensitivities. Of course, these days, there is always at least one asshole who will announce they are gluten sensitive. Older people with heart disease or diabetes face a greater risk. But it was their fault for not eating properly when they were growing up. Unfortunately, choking can also happen during holiday meals. Have a taser ready for when Mama has her hands around Dad's throat for forgetting to buy stuffing. Appalling News' recommendation? Just go straight to the ER and have your dinner there. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving to all our American friends. Up here in Canada, the New Democratic Party, the NDP, or as it's now called, the Zoran Mamdani Fan Club, recently their new Westminster, Burnaby, Mellardville, British Columbia chapter had their annual general meeting where they listed their newly elected executive members in two categories, non-male and male. We applaud the NDP for coming up with a solution to the vexing problem of how to deal with the fact that not a single member of the NDP can define what a woman is. Just get rid of the category of women entirely. In other related news, the NDP is having a leadership race. Prospective federal NDP leadership candidates will have to raise $100,000, most of which cannot come from cisgender men. The party did not immediately respond when asked how officials would reasonably verify if members identified as cisgender men or as being part of equity-seeking groups. Will it require the dropping of trow, as it's known in the UK? Let's not forget that gay men are also classified as cisgender because they know down which leg their sausage is stuffed. For a party that currently has only 7 members in the Canadian House of Commons out of a total of 343 seats, we would take the cash from a Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard. This news item comes by way of Robert Meyer Burnett. The rap online zine headline screams, "Podcasting's diversity problem. 64% of hosts are male, 77% are white. USC study finds." We can hear you laughing already. But let's dig in. The cut line reads, "The podcasting medium significantly trails the diversity of other entertainment avenues." Of course, There is no lack of room or opportunity. But let's dive into this slice of insanity. The hosts of the top 100 podcasts of 2024 were overwhelmingly white and male. A new comprehensive study from USC reveals. We are shocked. Of the top podcasts, 64% were hosted by men, while 77% of the hosts were white, underlining a severe lack of diversity in the medium. Our first question is, what was the point of the USC study? And who is USC anyway? Well, they are the USC Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism. Now that esthetician is a better career choice than journalist, their claim to fame is the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative is the leading think tank in the world studying diversity and inclusion in entertainment through original research and sponsored projects. For the pleasure of experiencing an absurdly worthless education, you will be charged $73,260 for tuition only per year. Another dumping ground for rich SAT score challenge dilettantes who their parents couldn't bribe into Columbia. Back to the bullshit. Even expanding beyond the top 100, 66.3% of the hosts of the top 592 podcasts were male, and 79.2% were white. In both gender and race, podcasts trail other parts of the entertainment industry. 50% of the top 100 films of 2024 had a female lead. And among the most popular TV shows of last year, 44.9% of the series regulars were from an underrepresented racial ethnic group. Here, they're comparing apples to oranges. Studios can demand diverse casting in movies and TV shows that feature dozens of characters. Podcasts are usually just one idiot with a microphone, you fugitives from a mental ward. The report, titled Inequality in Popular Podcasts, was authored by Dr. Stacy L. Smith and the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, based on podcast data from Spotify and additional podcast industry reports. The first-of-its-kind study examines the top 100 podcasts of 2024 and a total of 592 popular podcasts. Yes, and it will be the last of its kind. This study underscores both the reach of podcasting and the opportunity to ensure the voices behind the mic reflect the audiences they serve. We are glad to finally find out that podcasts need to find an audience interested in the topic they cover. Genius. Women of color were least likely to host podcasts. 6.6% of the top 100 podcast hosts were women of color, as were 8.1% of the 592 popular podcasts examined. Okay, U.S. Annenberg, who exactly are you trying to blame this on? Are you implying that white people are intentionally holding back women of color from creating a podcast called Shamika's Oil Rig Petroleum Engineer Podcast? The news doesn't get any better when expanding the search to guests instead of hosts. Nearly two-thirds, 42.6% of more than 4,000 episodes evaluated, did not feature a woman guest. Oh no, Gert Lubbock's Guns and Ammo Bass Fishing Show did not feature women guests. Podcasting's power lies in its potential as a democratized medium, where anyone with an idea and a microphone can find an audience, Dr. Smith continued. Yes, so what's the problem? The research essentially makes the claim that the wrong people have ambition, and it's not fair to those who don't. This has been Appalling News, and that's the way it is.